No. Do I think that Erica trusts all of these that we're talking behind her back? No, I'm sure she doesn't. And do you think that all these women just all of a sudden now want to leave it behind and give her a clean slate and say, yes, that's my great friend, I really want to hang out with her? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so, but I definitely think they're going to lighten it up a lot. I'm not saying they should or that it's not going to be an edit, but that's the edit.
Well, they have to. I mean, unless everything was happening in real time with the court cases and all of the lawsuits and you were hearing it in the news, then they'd have to talk about it. But it was so weird how when the season ended, you stopped hearing about so much of it and nothing's really stopped. So it's weird. I thought that was really strange.
It's a little strange, right?
Well, it is because it to me, it feels so contrived, you know? Like they've made her out to be, and not made her out. I mean, she was really kind of portrayed as this villain, you know, this heartless, there you go, woman for the season. And everyone, you know, was really asking her for her to not be brought back and couldn't stand her, all these things. And no, Bravo said, okay, she threw herself under the bus for us and she took the hit. And now we're going to repay her for giving us a great season. And we're not going to go after you. It's just, that's the whole thing about reality TV. That's so bizarre to me.
What?
I saw the thing I saw the thing that you sent me where, who was it? Heather, the Heather from New York, where she said that, that the production basically steers the storyline and that it was a lot of fake stories, or what was it? Something like that.
She was saying that, but that's also about like New York being shut down because everyone says Ebony went to corporate and said she opened a claim about Ramona being racist. And then they had to look into that. Heather was also like, I've seen the following things. New York is a mess. New York, let me tell you. Well, here's the thing. I know people that have been contacted personally, like they're not not in the past 3 to 4 weeks, but they're being told like, you're in the mix, but nobody is casted and but the rumor is with all these people that it's moving forward, but not fast. Like, I think it's going to be, let me tell you this from speaking to lots of the New York women nobody knows anything. Like there's no nobody knows anything.
There's no promises made.
No, I do not think it's definitely not coming back. That big article everyone freaked out about where it said New York is not coming back till 2023. Yeah, like at least. Because if it hasn't started filming, I mean, we're in January. We're not going to start filming in Christmas here. So it's not starting in January. Wow. So what is it going to start in March at the earliest? And then what? There's going to be edits and that's 2023. But that's even, I don't even know about that, to be honest with you.
That kind of, I mean, it kind of bums me out because honestly, New York was my fave. That was the one. I never watched Dallas. I watched the reunion of Potomac in half of the season, I guess, just to like kind of get a feel. Yeah. I lost my staple. But I didn't enjoy the last season. I will say that I did not enjoy the last season at all.
Well, this is where I go back to, there must be something wrong with me because I didn't not enjoy it. Does that make sense? Like the only thing I didn't enjoy was the OC. The OC, the last season of the OC is what I did not enjoy. Last year during COVID, I thought it was the worst season of a housewife show to ever exist.
I'm so glad I didn't watch it.
And that's why it was just so boring to me. That's my honest opinion. And then this is the thing. So they took all this time and the OC is finally back, which we'll talk about in a second too. I think the ratings of the OC are going to determine what's happening in New York. I just think New York is like, the ratings were down. So if the ratings are down, but I mean, when you open an investigation and the investigation is closed, they found no wrongdoing by Miss Ramona Singer. That's really where we're at here.
That's hard to believe after I watched the girls' vacation trip.
Well, and so I don't know. Well, no, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, does Heather making a statement like this reopen an investigation? I don't think so. She's not on the show. No.
I
Right.
mean, why would that would be a reason to keep it closed? What Heather said. I mean, why? Because that's true. I mean, storylines are created, and the production team knows what's going on. The people who are in the cast don't necessarily all know what's going on, but I would guess to believe that there's a couple that know that they talk to. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they have to let New York die down for a while so everyone kind of forgets them and falls out of love with the people they really like, or, you know, forgives the ones they don't like, and then they pick up, you know, because they have to keep some of them. They just have to. I don't think they can come back with a completely new cast. It doesn't feel familiar then. It doesn't make you want to turn it on necessarily. Then to me, it's like it could be any other city.
Right. And Salt Lake, although it is phenomenal, is not so highly rated. It's higher now with this Jen Shaw stuff, but that's the thing. People didn't tune in. They're like, why would I want to get to know a whole bunch of new people? Everyone listening to this podcast tuned in, but the real world outside of it only has like 700,000 and 800,000 with Jen Shaw. So I think, yes, if New York comes back with nobody familiar, this is why Leah's the easiest decision. Leah's gone. There's 0% chance she's coming back. I will stand by that. I've said that before. Someone's like, are you crazy? I'm like, there's no history with her. It's only 2 years. The big debate amongst people is, are we losing Ramona or Luann or Sonia? That's really what people are invested in. Nobody cares about Leah. I mean, whether that's right or wrong, she's just the sacrificial lamb and she's gone. That's the business decision, 100%.
To be honest with you, and it's not that I don't like Leah, but I don't think that that's a bad move, because I think they have to get back to a little bit of the core of what they were when everyone started watching and really loving it. People want to see, I mean, why I started watching it, honestly, I wanted to see where they were going out to eat. I wanted to, you know, see what they were wearing. I love New York City, and it was just kind of fun for me to just, that mindless entertainment where you're just watching, like flipping through a magazine, like, what are you eating? What are you wearing? What are you buying? And they got away from that so much, and it became so catty that it didn't feel good anymore. And that's what you and I were talking. We talked about the girls trip, and like, why was this working? It works because they all don't know each other. They're not all emotionally invested. They're trying to make nice and be funny and be cute and vie for their position in the ranking, in the hierarchy of who they all are. And it's fun. That's why it works. Because I caught myself smiling a couple times. I'm like, oh gosh, okay, they're entertaining.
I have a whole theory about that too. I don't know. I need to really check the timeline, but I think this really all kind of came together as New York was crashing. I do. It's like kind of simultaneous. And I think this is purposeful. Like, I think they're like, okay, we got the memo. You people want to keep it light and let's fight, but let's fight about fluff. And they got the memo.
Let it go. Right. And even when the filming's done 8 days, 9 days later, whatever it is, and they walk away, they're not in the same city. They're not having to see each other again. You forget about it and you move on. And if every once in a blue moon they get together for a baby shower or whatever the case may be, okay, fine.